Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Life, Loss, and Hope, Archway of Hope podcast. I am with Terry Sloan, a great friend of Archway of Hope, and, unfortunately, if you will, kind of a client of Archway of Hope. Terry and his wife, Carrie, and their family lost their daughter, Cordelia, back in January of 2020. And Terry, she was 16, correct?
Yeah,
About to be
yeah,
17?
she was a couple months away from being 17, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so we have been in relationship with the Sloans for quite a while now. We actually did a documentary on Cordelia and the family about 3 years ago. Terry has since joined the Archway of Hope board and has been a great asset to our board. But like I said, unfortunately, it came about through some tragic circumstances. Terry, thanks for being with us today. We're starting to do these podcasts and do some checkups with people that we worked with in the past on the documentary, and just to see how life is going. Uh, you know, a few years after a tragic loss, see what's new. So you've obviously walked a very difficult path, you and your family, and I would say that you've walked it really well. It doesn't mean it's not very, very difficult, but y'all are an inspiration to a lot of people and do bring and offer hope to a lot of people. So tell us how right now, what is going on? How is life going right now?
We've been extremely lucky. In my working with Archway, we get to meet a lot of families who have went through
Mhm.
something like this, and we had a lot of support when it happened. Um, and not to push back a little bit, but we actually were supporting Archway from the very beginning. I have a
Mhm.
picture that I'm looking at right now in my office of Cordelia with Mike Singletary at the launch party.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
That's
yeah,
right.
So we would have supported Archway even without the Cordelia
Yeah.
situation, but that just solidified the relationship. Everything actually is going. You don't ever want to say pretty well in a situation like this, but it is going pretty well. Uh,
Yeah.
Life goes on, and that's the main message that we want to send to everybody. Uh, my youngest daughter is now in high school. And this is one of the really scary things for families that this happens to. She's turning 15. She's about to start getting her license, and we're going to go through that process again. I haven't went through that since Cordelia.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be, and we have to realize that Anya's not Cordelia. So we can't
Right.
treat her like that. We can't we have to let her live her life, and we can't be afraid because of what happened. But
Right.
we actually downsized our home. We're no longer on the house on 6th Street. When we moved here to McGregor, I had 4 kids in the house. Now I have
Mhm.
one. That house was just a little
Right.
too big.
Right.
The electric bills are starting to really hurt.
Right. And
But yeah, so we have not moved on from Cordelia, but life has gone on. Carrie is the librarian at the junior high. They're building a brand new, so she's involved in that. Things are going great here at the credit union, and we still talk about Cordelia all the time. Last night I was
right.
at a banquet, and I shared with the table stories
Mhm.
about her. So
Right. And what about your other kiddos? What's going on in their lives?
so Memory is second grade teacher.
Mhm.
At She's actually going after her doctorate,
Oh,
which
wow.
yeah, I asked her what she was going to do with it. I think the only reason she wants to get a doctorate is because I only have a 4-year degree, so she wants a better degree than me.
That's
Kaylin,
a good
Kaylin,
reason.
our son, yeah, at least she has a reason. So,
Yeah.
Kaylin, our son, is right now in Georgia. He's going through AIT, and he's actually going to be stationed in Hawaii for the next 3 years. I
Okay.
don't think he understands how expensive Hawaii is. I think he thinks he's going to go party for 3 years, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and then he's in the army. And then, like I said, our youngest one, Anya, is about ready to drive. She's a freshman in high school now, so she's now right about where Cordelia was.
Yeah. Right.
So and like I said, we're having to realize she's her own person, and she has completely different personality, so it's not that hard.
Right. And then you got a grandkid, right?
Yes, we have River. Actually, I call her River. Everybody else, her name is actually Hudson. I call her River, but she's in third grade. She's doing great. She's also in competitive cheer, and
Oh, wow.
uh, yeah. So I thought we went around a lot for baseball tournaments and things like that. No, no,
Oh
they go
gosh.
around the country for, and she's 8 years old. So, but
Oh my
she's doing
gosh.
an amazing job. So we're
Good.
proud of all of them.
Well, I made the mistake of calling her River one time, and she was very clear with me that that name is only for you to use. So she corrected me very quickly. So, well, that's I'm so glad to hear that it seems like everybody's on a really good path. What is it like as you go from year to year, the change in your either in your mind or in your heart or both on how you deal with that loss or how you remember it or how you progress? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that there are the two things that I think about when I think about Cordelia.
Mhm.
The first is we're never going to get to see her grow up. We got to
Right.
see her personality come out, and it would have been amazing to see the woman that she becomes. On the other hand, we're never going to see the bad that she had to go through. All of us go through bad things, all of it. So she's the one child that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
We know she's in heaven. We know that she's being taken care of. So we still think about her all the time. We think
Yeah.
about her every day, and the pain doesn't lessen, but
Mhm.
the edges do get softer. That's kind of hard, kind of a weird way to say it,
Yeah.
um, but we no longer have the mood swings that we had in year one. The
Mhm.
mood swings start to go away, but yeah, I'll be just randomly watching TV and a commercial will come on. It'll remind me of her.
Yeah.
So things like that still happen, and from the people I talk to, that never goes away.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. And I think I asked you this in the documentary. I'm sure that I did. Was there a time from the time of the loss, the day of the loss, uh, to a point where you all of a sudden thought, you know what, I'm going to be able to make it through this. I'm going to have a good life. Whereas maybe it was hard to think that way prior.
Yeah, so I don't really remember much about the first 3 months after the loss.
Yeah.
I remember bits and pieces of it. Uh, After that, it was all about taking care of the family. In the documentary, you kind of see that me and Carrie do things a little bit different. She was the on hands at the moment.
Hmm.
So afterwards, my job kind of kicked in to take care of the family long
Hmm.
term. So it took me about 2 years before I thought things will get better. But for that 2 years, I had to act like it was going to get better for my family. So I hope, and I hope if you ask my family, they say this during that time, I didn't let them get too down. This was an event, it did happen, but let's remember Cordelia going forward.
Hmm.
And really, a good thing about this whole thing, it truly was an accident. It- you know,
Hmm.
this wasn't the tragedy wasn't piled on with something else.
Yeah.
So it was there wasn't one moment where I just kind of sighed with relief and said, okay, everything's going to be good from here on out.
Yeah.
But just slowly over time, you just realize, life goes on. And
Uh-huh.
it's a weird thing because you realize that early on, but it's a bad thing at the very beginning.
Mhm.
How can life go on? Then you get to the point where I guess life is just going to go on. Then you get to the point where, okay, now life can go on. So
Right.
it's a progression through it. And I knew very early that life would go on. I just didn't want it to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you've reached a point where are you want life to go on and you want to see your kids grow and do all the things that people do in life, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're watching Memory and Kaylin right now live their life.
Yeah.
It hurts a little bit that they don't want to come live their life here next to us. Memory does,
Yeah.
but uh, yeah, Kaylin's off on his own, and he's traveling around the world. Since the documentary, uh, all of the women in my family took a trip to London for a Taylor Swift concert. My mom, my wife, my daughter, my granddaughters, they all went to London. I paid for it, and it was the best money I ever spent because I got 2 weeks at home by myself. But we might want to cut that part before Carrie sees it. But
Yeah, I remember that was a big trip. That was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, last summer. And me and Carrie have taken a couple of vacations, and Mom is even uh, traveling around, going to Gorings Wilder and different
Mhm.
things like that. So we went on, but there's not a moment that we don't think that Cordelia is with us. So
Well, and we've asked this question before, and I know that your advice will appeal to some people, maybe not to everyone, but do you have advice for new people that are new to this new life?
yeah, it's the same advice that we got when this happened. Don't try to please anybody.
Mhm.
This is your journey. If someone wants to come by and help, and you want that help, take it. If you don't want that help, tell them. Um, we were lucky enough that the entire town came around us,
Mm.
but they also, while they were sharing the loss that we had, it was a different loss for us.
Yeah.
And it's unless you went through it, you don't understand. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who are going through it for the first time. And this is why Archway is so important. I don't know if we could have went through it had we not had the support we got. So even very early on, I recognized, and then when we went through the situation with Cordelia, Archway is really there to help those people who don't have any support around them.
Hmm.
And we talked to quite a few people where the situation is that they don't have people come around them the way that we did.
Hmm.
And but a loss is a loss,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what the situation is around that loss. You still lost someone you cared for deeply.
Yeah.
So mourn the way you need to mourn. Now, we've also met people who have never gotten away from that moment. You
Yeah.
have to move on. Like I said, I fully understand you don't want to move on, but you have to. Just
Yeah.
for your quality of life and for their memory. Um, when we talk to people who have had a loss, I would much rather hear the good stories, the happy times, this is how this person enriched our life, than to spend all the time talking about the tragedy.
Hmm.
Um, we do talk about that. You've got to get through that. But if it's 10 years after and all you can talk about is the tragedy, then that's kind of where I see we're coming alongside and try to help you.
Yeah.
Because it was bad enough in the moment. You can't live that way the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It just, you can't.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, and another thing that we're Archway's really blessed is that you're the CEO of Rocket Federal Credit Union. They're in McGregor, and you are our main donor. I mean, and we're your main organization or main nonprofit that you support. Um, and why is that important? I know personally it's important to you, but why is that important that you give your support to Archway through Rocket Federal Credit Union?
Yeah. So I'll actually answer that question before Cordelia, her
Hmm.
passing. That's
Hmm.
probably the best way to answer it. We were always going to support Archway.
Hmm.
And the reason for it is McGregor. We moved in 2016. My father was in the military. We talked about this in the documentary, and I've moved around a lot. McGregor is a special town. When we, I'm going to choke up a little bit. When we moved into McGregor, I wasn't treated like an outsider. My family wasn't treated like an outsider. First example, Cordelia, when she passed away, there were 750 people at her service. And that was from two communities. Shawnee, 250 came from there. But this town has come around us more than any other. And I don't know of another town that would look at these situations, at a death of a child or a death of a family member too soon, and think, how can I turn this into a good thing? McGregor did. They said, we need an organization that can help everybody the way we help our own. And that was, it spoke to me. It really did. Sorry. Yeah, I haven't cried in like 3 years. Now you're going to make me cry.
No, it's time, man. You got to get it out every once in a while.
Well, like I said, that whole period from, because the Archway, it was early December, if I remember right, or it was late November that we launched it. And the Herring family was the family that we were launching it. They were going to be the first documentary.
Mm.
And then it wasn't a month or 2 months after that that Cordelia had her accident. So the picture that I have of Cordelia with Mike Singletary, that's the last picture I have.
Hmm.
And so to answer your question, we have always been not from getting it ready and getting it going, but my family's always been linked to Archway. Well,
Right.
whether y'all knew it or not, we were linked, and God sent us down the path where we were going to be linked with it.
Yeah.
And my position, and everything else, God has blessed me that I can be that for Archway.
Hmm.
And yeah, they are our charity of choice. Now we do a lot of stuff for the community, but because of what happened to me and because of the family that Rocket is, we've decided this is where we need to put our money. We
Hmm.
need to help people that have went through a loss, that have went through that. That's the great blessing that I have in my job. I get to decide where the money goes and
Hmm.
where the impact is, and so I'm truly grateful for my position, and I'm grateful for Archway too. Um,
Yeah.
Archway, McGregor, everything. We would not be where we're at now had we had all that. And I just want this to be something for someone who doesn't have this support.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're sure a richer organization because of you and your family and because of the support of you and Rocket Federal Credit Union. And um, I guess we are kind of all in this thing together. Thankfully, we have each other, we have support, and you've had the support that you've needed. And Terry, we're just so thankful for everything that you do. I consider you a friend, and I'm sure happy that we get to serve on the board together at
Yeah,
Archway.
weird choice to make me a friend, but thanks for that. So
No, it's perfect. It's just what I need. So, well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being on. And is it all right if down the road we check in with you again?
oh yeah, yeah. We like I said, we love talking about Cordelia. We love talking about everything.
Yeah,
We even talking about the event, Cordelia's accident when it needs to be talked about.
yeah,
Uh, but like I said, last night I was able to share stories about Cordelia with a group of people who never knew her. So,
yeah.
and that's probably the biggest thing for those people who get out of the event and they do start to move on. They don't mind talking about their loved ones.
Mm.
Matter of fact, they kind of like it.
Yeah.
We're not going to get to see Cordelia grow, but I can definitely tell you stories about it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. For anybody who wants to see some of our documentaries, see what Archway is about, you can hop on our website at archwayofhope.org and just, search around on there. You can go to our stories and see documentaries and other things. But we look forward to meeting a lot of you and helping you out if you need us. So thanks again. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.